Hey, I'm Brian from BMA Comics Con, and I'm joined today by Ronnie from News to Astonish.
Hey guys, I'm Ronnie from News to Astonish, but he already said that.
Yes.
So,
Thank you for joining me today again for another video.
all right. Sorry, I had to do that thing where I just woke up. All right, let's get on with it. What are we talking about today, Brian?
Okay, so today we'll be answering the question, is the superhero movie hype over now that Avengers Endgame has pretty much satisfied all of us?
All right.
So,
So,
would you like to begin with your thoughts?
yeah, I'm gonna be perfectly candid. All right, as best as I can. Um, for some, I think the superhero genre can be a little stale at times, and it can be a bit exhausting because we live in a world where we're overly saturated with superhero genres, superhero based TV shows, movies, and everything. Every comic book you can practically think of is already being adapted into live action, and clearly it shows because let's face it, it sells. The value is there. People just love comic book stuff, and people that are non-comic book fans and fans alike are jumping into the bandwagon of the comic book world.
Yeah.
So like I said, we're heavily saturated already with superhero shows that I don't think anybody, including myself, can name every single superhero based TV show and movie to date right now. So to answer it perfectly, to be candid about that, I don't think the superhero hype is over because there's a gigantic select few of individuals that still want more. And I think Avengers Endgame gave us a lot, but it's not enough, honestly, because we want more, including fans like myself want more. And there is potential for more, if you know what I mean. And to elaborate further on that, there's potential for more as in stories that are bigger and more ambitious and tenacious and just crazy, just all sorts of crazy. We're talking, Battle World and Secret Wars. We're talking the Secret Invasion. We're talking about House of M. We can go Avengers and Wolverine versus Hulk. It there's no more
there's no end
taking
to what they can do.
Yeah, there's no end to the possibilities. There's no more taking risks because we've already taken risks as far back as the first Iron Man movie. Now
it's proven it could work.
And now we have a story in a movie format based on the Infinity War saga. Who would have thought that we would get a story as I'll just say this, it's not the best story in the world in comics, but who would have thought we would have gotten a story based on a storyline like that, where you have all these superheroes together in one film? Nobody, if somebody that's going to be adapted in 10 years, I would have been yeah, you're crazy. That story is just too ambitious. It's just too many things going on. Nobody would follow suit. Nobody would follow along with it. Well, it's been proven wrong because of this continuous saga that we've had in the past 11 years now. We've gotten to that point where we can make stories about these superheroes coming together and working as a team. It's not crazy anymore. We live in a world where we have a talking raccoon in a superhero film. It's not crazy anymore. Now you can put Howard the Duck again. You get Howard the Duck and make him relevant again. Where in 1990 or 89 or whatever, that didn't work. But now it's been proven that it can work with the right writing and the right staff and crew and actors.
And the audience is used to it now.
Yeah, and now it's become common.
Weird. It's norm.
It's become commonplace to have superheroes based TV shows where superheroes are actually it's stretching the scope, and they're going beyond by making superheroes with comedy, crazy funny superhero movies. Look at the movie Super. That is I think that's a James Gunn film. No, that's not. That's a Sam Raimi film. He did Spider-Man as well.
Yes.
Those movies back then, like Spider-Man, Batman, they only worked because they were very popular in comic books. And people know, you go to any Joe Schmo out there and you ask who Batman is, they may have not read the comics, but they know who he is. Because those characters like Batman and Spider-Man and like Superman maybe. They're very marketable characters. They're very, very reputable. And the idea of doing a superhero movie where like every superhero you can think of is in one movie is not it's not far fetched anymore. It's just commonplace now. It's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. It'll do well. It'll sell. I mean, look at Avengers right now. Avengers Endgame this weekend made over $1.3 billion globally in a weekend. It broke records.
Opening weekend alone.
It's like mind freaking. Can you imagine what it'll do within the next week? Like, I think it's going to surpass. It's going to make the 3 billion mark.
But here's the thing: Avengers Endgame marks the end of the Infinity Saga, the Marvel Phase 1 through 3.
There's more sagas. There's more sagas to do.
There's more sagas, but it's the perfect jumping off point. It's the end of some people's favorite characters. And
would you say that it would have been perfect to just end it there?
For many people, it might be.
I'm on the fence. Like, I would have been satisfied as like, yeah, I got a sufficient amount of stories told for each of these characters where they've made several appearances in films. You know, it's like a comic book. They, you know, these characters, and they made several appearances in comics and guest appearances in other people's comics. It's the same concept. It's there. It's like, yeah, I would have been satisfied myself, but at the same time, I would have wanted more, and maybe in a way for like the films to evolve, where like they cast different actors to play the same characters that we loved from the previous saga, like they do in the comics, where they have new writers and new artists who draw the same characters that we know and love, but in a different way. So I would have looked at it like that, you know.
But when you look at it, out of the 6 original Avengers, you have Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and the Hulk. 5 out of those 6 characters had the perfect ending to their story arc. The Thor is the only one who's set up to still continue on. So for many people, it might be from, hey, you know, I loved the Avengers when it came on, seeing those 6 come together, and they all had a great ending. So,
and now 4 movies.
Do you think that we're gonna see a big drop in revenue for the superhero movies after Endgame? Or do you think Endgame pumped so many people up that more people will now flood to the random
I don't think
movies?
we're going to see
it's always the Avenger movies that have the higher grossings.
I don't think we're going to see a drop in like revenue as far as superhero movies go. I mean, look at Black Panther. Look, the first movie did over $1 billion, I think. And you know, people have high expectations for the sequel. And I'm certainly looking forward to like the new Avengers and
but when you put it like that
and stuff like that, people have high expectations after Endgame. People wonder, can they do better than that? Can they top it? Can it be more ambitious? Can it be crazier?
You used Black Panther as an example, which I thought was a good example, but it made me realize Black Panther and Captain Marvel both were not part of the Avengers franchise. They're part of the Avengers, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it's not a part of Avengers 1 through 4. And Black Panther and Captain Marvel both hit the $1 billion mark, but both of those starred and seemed like it, you know, really went towards marginalized or minority groups, be it blacks or women. So could it still be that your average, let's say, I don't know, Doctor Strange 2. Do you think Doctor Strange 2 has a chance at $1 billion? Do you think
I think
the first one
did really well. I think it does. He's become a favorite amongst the comic community right now because he's pretty powerful and he's wicked too. Yeah. But I think he has potential to reach the $1 billion mark, the sequel at least. I was also going to say that like Captain Marvel beat Wonder Woman in the box office. It just topped it, and I thought Wonder Woman was the better film.
Yeah, I bet. I don't know firsthand, but Wonder Woman was good. But Captain Marvel comes with the feminist agenda and the Marvel backing.
The agenda is so obvious that it's cringy.
Wonder Woman was the first real good thing out of the DCEU.
You know, Wonder Woman didn't push the feminine agenda.
No,
it didn't force, because like she was surrounded by male supporting characters.
Yes.
And you notice that not every person that she worked with in that film was a female.
Actually,
And,
no one
and
she worked with.
they
After she
turned.
left the mascara, she didn't deal with women except for the.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Excuse me. With the exception of Themyscira, because that's what the Mascarian people are. They're women that are warriors. Aside from that, from that point on, where she left Themyscira and she couldn't come back because she left, every character that she's worked with were men, except the what do you call it? The what's her name? The secretary.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
but like
and that might be why she didn't have the feminine. I mean, women probably were very happy to have a
you know what?
superhero
You know
of
why
their own.
You know what Wonder Woman did right? She proved that a solo woman, a female, can work best alone like that. Where in Captain Marvel, they forced it so much that they transformed. What's the name of this character that talks through an imagery? Hold on. There's this character that you that the Creed talk to them,
Yes.
and they have to picture somebody they admire the most.
Intelligence.
Huh?
Supreme Intelligence.
Supreme Intelligence. They feminized her. They feminized the Supreme Intelligence and they turned it into a woman. Why? What impact does it have to the story by turning that into a woman? The Supreme Intelligence is not a being; it's an intelligence.
Like, was it a woman or was it a woman for Captain Marvel?
It was a woman for Captain Marvel, but we've never seen what it was for any other character, aside from Captain Marvel.
I guess for Captain Marvel, she likes women of power. She is a woman, so therefore, I guess she's.
Yeah, but you don't have to do that because Captain Marvel alone is already proven enough that she can work alone as a female lead.
Well, hey, she got the $1 billion club.
Your point by making every character a woman. You don't have to force that at all. Like, we get it. Women can act. Cool. Don't shove it in our faces by saying, "Oh, we changed this to appeal to the women audience, and we changed that character to appeal to the women audience because we love women so much." I'm like, that comes across as forced. That's like me watching a movie and changing a well-known white character to a Hispanic character to appeal to me. I'm like, you don't have to do that. There's plenty of movies with Hispanic characters in it. You know, like Ant-Man had supporting Hispanic characters. Name of this comedian that I like from Ant-Man. Oh my God,
I can't think of his name, but
he's hilarious.
He was funny before Ant-Man.
He's like, you don't have to like I don't care.
I didn't see Captain Marvel, so I don't know how it's forced. The Supreme Intelligence being a woman for Captain Marvel, to me that kind of makes sense. I don't know how it was for everyone else, but it would make sense. She was
an agenda being pushed there.
Yeah, I know that.
Like, hey, we're taking this character from the comics that you probably may or may not know, and we're going to turn it into a woman only when this character is in these scenes with Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
I'm like, you don't have to do that. Just make it what it is from the comics. Alone, Captain Marvel already is strong enough as a female lead. We get it. You know, we live in a world where we can have female leads now. And it's socially acceptable. You don't have to prove that by throwing in every other supporting character as a female. You know, like
back to the superhero hype. Do you think Spider-Man: Far From Home will be a $1 billion movie?
No, I don't. Maybe close, but I don't think so.
Why is that?
I don't know. Avengers Endgame and Avengers-based movies are very ambitious enough as it is, and they're tracked to make $1 billion or more. But I don't think Spider-Man alone will reach the mark. Spider-Man's Spider-Man's
one of the most
very marketable character, and it's an extremely popular character. So maybe I think it will make it. Maybe.
So my question to you is the trend billion, because that's what Marvel's been doing the last 4 movies: Black Panther, Infinity War, Captain Marvel, and Endgame. Billion. So yeah. Are they just straight hitting billions now, or are we going to see a decrease? And is that if there is a decrease?
I think we might get a fluctuation, maybe, but like it'll be very small.
Okay. All right. So so to recap, I think you're pretty much saying the hype is not over, but doesn't mean they're going to be knocking billions out the park.
Oh, of course, yeah, they're gonna get $1 billion again. They're gonna reach that again.
Before the event, before another team up movie.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, we got Black Panther 2 coming. That's gonna reach $1 billion. People love that movie.
But like I said,
and can you imagine what Shang-Chi is gonna make? Like the Chinese, there's more Chinese people than there are Americans.
Asians. Sorry.
Look at China. China is gigantic. China is like, it takes 3 United States to fill China. The Chinese love movies. We're gonna get so much money off of that. Like the character's not that well known, but we're getting a Shang-Chi movie.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, China had a big role in Endgame hitting that billion in its opening weekend.
Because there's more of them than there are of us. China's a huge country.
Yes. Well, okay. So thank you for your opinion on that. Please, why don't you tell me in the comments, what do you think? Do you think the superhero movie hype is winding down? Do you think Avengers Endgame was a perfect end spot? Or do you think that it boosts up the excitement that everyone just can't wait to see what happens in Phase 4, especially now that we'll have the X-Men and the Fantastic Four to join the party? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Yeah, that's something to expect too. So we can, without a doubt, the expectations are high because those characters make their appearances in the Marvel Studios film. A lot of butts are going to be planted in those seats, and oh my god, it's going to be crazy. So I doubt that it's winding down. It's only begun, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
We've been wanting that for the longest, X-Men and Fantastic Four to come back home.
Yes, and actually, either on your channel or mine at some point, I want to talk about bringing the X-Men and the Fantastic Four into the MCU, especially now that Endgame has come out, because to me, the possibilities have changed and opened up. But I don't want to get into that. That might get into Endgame spoilers, which I don't know who hasn't seen Endgame. So far, we haven't spoiled Endgame, so let's not spoil it. Because I think we
haven't seen Endgame already. You are seriously lacking.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you, Ronnie, for joining me on this video, and I really appreciate you guys spending your time with me. And until next time.
I really appreciate it too, Brian. It's like you're here with me right now.
I know, right? That's why I figured. I guess I could look at you while talking to them.
Oh, I feel like you're here with me.
I know, right? High five.
All right, I can't wait to rewatch that. All right.
Yes.
Well, thanks for joining.
I'll let you know when this comes up. Yes, thank you.
See you guys all in the next time.